Hello and welcome to episode 359 of the video show. Today I'm talking to Peter Bryant, the crypto prof. So the reason I wanted to talk to Peter was because he is an expert in cryptocurrency, but not only that, he also runs a YouTube channel, and obviously having a cryptocurrency business, advising people on cryptocurrency is a subject that divides a lot of people. So I wanted to see how his videos performed on YouTube, how he dealt with negative comments and sort of hearsay and stuff like that, because it's really because it's such a new thing, it's hard to sort of prove what you're talking about. A lot of people think they know what they're talking about, a lot of people say they know what they're talking about. How do you work out the people that actually know what they're talking about? So I wanted to talk to him about that, how he builds trust with his videos, how his videos perform, and how he deals with those negative comments as well. So let's have a look, and I will see you at the end of the video. What's the best way for people to learn about it? Because I think that you can be misled very, very easily. There's a lot of scammers out there. You see stuff on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, even YouTube as well. So I know we're going to be talking about your YouTube channel. How do you know who you can trust?
What I look for when I'm looking for influencers is skin in the game. Do they own the assets they're talking about? If they don't, do they disclaim they don't, and why they don't? Because I could talk about certain crypto projects that I have no vested interest in, and they're good projects, but I would always say I don't own many of this or any of this. Not because I don't want to, but because my portfolio isn't that able to be diversified that now. So, but I think videos are kind of the crucial way of people get introduced to crypto. Most people buy crypto because their friend has bought a crypto project, and I think that is now extended to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, etc., where people feel like influencers are their friends. Oh, buy this, buy that. During a bull market, that's great because people generally tend to make money very quickly that way because everything appreciates and a rising tide raises all boats. During times like this, it's a lot more dangerous because there are projects collapsing. There is a lot of people wanting just to shill a project to keep it alive, basically. And you just have to be a little bit more critically thinking about times in crypto. And that's one of the things that I'm trying to encourage is critical thinking about crypto.
Okay, so what do you mean by critical thinking about crypto?
So fundamentally, why does a project exist? Bitcoin exists because it's the legacy way of sending money through the internet. That's why it exists. Dogecoin, which is a top 10 cryptocurrency, has no use case other than sending payments quickly, which many other chains do. So if you're investing in something, don't just invest for the price or the speculative element. Actually look to support the project in a way that is going to help it achieve its end goal.
Okay, cool. And something you said earlier, a minute ago, I think I should ask another question around that, and that was if you're looking for someone who has skin in the game, how do you know for sure they have skin in the game? Because anyone could say, "Oh, I've learned this from this," and look at how it's done and and work it out. How do you know for sure that they're actually invested in it?
So ideally, what they will do is they'll show you their investments. So in my videos on YouTube, I actually make a habit of going into my accounts and showing the assets there, for good or for bad, because obviously when you do that, you have to ensure that the security is still tight. So you kind of maybe blur out certain parts of the addresses or the security keys, things like that. But I demonstrate that I have those, and if I don't, then you can at least say, this address is my address, check the collateral on the blockchain, and you will see that I have these tokens. Or just generally being transparent. And I think transparency is another thing, because a lot of people who invest in cryptocurrency there's a lot of social proof that needs to happen in this sector for people to trust that people are being genuine and not just shilling for the sake of it or getting commission because people sign up using a link, etc. But if you're able to, demonstrate and show screenshots, links, etc. I've been involved with this project for X amount of time. All the better.
Like I always say, like, video is a great way of building trust, but I think this is like the ultimate test of how video can help build trust. How have you noticed, like, with your videos? Have you slowly started building a following of people that are kind of, they trust you and they know they know that you know what you're talking about, and then they've told people about you as well?
Yes and no. So I have 6,000 followers on YouTube.
Yeah, I was looking at that a minute ago,
which are, some of them I do know, majority I don't. A lot of them have come from places like Reddit, where I've posted my video on Reddit and then they followed me. However, I have had around about 10 to 15 who have become known to me, who've emailed, they've corresponded with me, and they do ask me from time to time, what's my steer on the market? What projects would I recommend? Do you like this particular project, etc.? So yeah, I think the YouTube being quite, I'm not as YouTube centric as perhaps I should be, but definitely when I was pushing out 2 videos a week, people were definitely engaging with that and going for the trust element first. Now I've got several other products as well, like my blog, Clearly Crypto. That's kind of taking place because I feel I can drill down a lot more into due diligence in a written format and a video format, but definitely showing people and demonstrating how to do it properly, how to invest in crypto, using good practice is definitely video friendly.
Yeah, I think because there's so many scammers out there and people are very aware that crypto and like NFTs and stuff like that is quite new. So there's a lot of people out there that are probably going to be scamming them. So everyone's very aware, I'm going to be scammed. So I need to be very careful when I'm investing any of my actual money in this space. So I do think video is a really good way of doing that. Both for the people that are honest and for the people that are scammers, because you can build trust quite easily with video because they get to know your face, they get to know you, and then as you said, they feel like they know the influencer. I found it as well with video stuff. So I follow a lot of video influencers on YouTube that talk about cameras and stuff like that, and it's only afterwards that you sort of work out, oh yeah, they're paid by these camera companies, they're given these cameras to talk about them, so they're not going to say anything bad about them, they're not going to give an honest review, they're going to say all the great stuff. And then I think a really good way of telling is if they are still using that bit of equipment in a future video in a month's time, in 2 months' time. And if they're not, you know that equipment's probably not something that you would need to invest in or something you need to look into further. Are there any tried and tested ways that people can find out, ways that people can work out how they can trust crypto influencers?
So I was surprised when I launched my channel. I get approached by about 3 people a week saying, will you film for this project? And 95% of them, I don't reply because you're just part of a cohort where they've just spammed channels and they just wait for people to get back to them. I have done a couple of paid videos, but I always have a disclaimer saying paid video. And I mentioned it in the video as well. And I think just being that transparent about it, because, markets are there. YouTube is a commercial platform where advertisers pay for videos to be delivered. Okay. So naturally, the natural extension of that is for companies to pay influencers to create content that they approve of. And obviously, once the approval process gets involved, that's where the potential is for a biased review. And I think that's, if you go down the road of things like Top Gear, historically. I always remember Top Gear reviews because they're usually 75% good, and then the last quarter just negates everything they've already said. So, you kind of want to have that kind of balance where people say, this crypto project's great. This is why I do a SWOT analysis: strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Because everyone talks about the strengths, because you can shill a Bitcoin crypto project forever, but no one talks about the weaknesses. So if you integrate that into a model, so what I would look for in crypto influencers is someone who talks about the strengths and weaknesses kind of on par, because no crypto project is perfect. And even the best ones have Ponzi elements, or there's an argument to be made that it's not got longevity, but that doesn't mean it's not necessarily a good investment. It could be a good short-term investment, terrible long-term investment. And as long as there is balance, I think that's the caveats. And if the balance is less than 80-20, so it's 80% positive, 20% negative, something's gone wrong there.
Okay, that's a really good point. And I think you could probably say that with a lot of like reviews of products as well. Like if you're just getting positive, it should be alarm bells ringing.
On Amazon, people trust 4-star reviews better than 5-star reviews.
Yeah, and like I always look for like Airbnb. I always look for the 1-star reviews on the places I'm about to book, because you're like, that will tell the truth.
Yeah.
Cool. That's good. Okay. So how have you found like your video journey, like posting on YouTube? I'm guessing because crypto is quite a big market, you're getting like a number of like you're quite successful on there, and I think 6,000 subscribers is a decent number. That's really good.
I got there very quickly, and then I kind of stopped. I haven't released any videos apart from the live stream I did recently since November last year. So basically, when the peak of the market happened, and then I pivoted my business and focused on other things. I've launched a trading fund, for example, the blog, and all sorts, planning another book, that kind of thing. And just the time it takes to develop a high quality video, even though most of my videos are just me screen sharing, it takes 3 hours to plan, an hour to record, and then post is probably an hour to 2 hours, depending on how fast my laptop can render it. And then the thumbnails, the SEO, there's a lot that goes into that. Whereas writing a blog article seems completely conceptually simple, and I can build those up over time. I've released 58 videos on YouTube, and the best one has been a cartoon of me explaining how crypto works. Basically, it's got 250,000 views, and it's been quite controversial, which has been good for traffic. But that was only 5 minutes. But that took 3 days to create. So there is another video I did a week later, same formula, hasn't taken off at all. So there is a definite put as much content out as possible, but obviously you're limited by the time constraints.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like a lot of people that make their own videos, they say the same things. Like it's a lot goes into it, like filming it, editing it, do the SEO on YouTube as well. You need to get that right, especially for what you're doing. You need to like hit the right points so that people that are searching it find those videos. And like it's clear that you've done it with some, and then others haven't taken off. And that's the frustrating thing about YouTube sometimes, is that like you do the same thing with one video and another one. One will do really well, and one will just like be really flat, and you can't really tell why. And I just think it's purely just you keep doing it, and then you learn more and more and more. And yeah, if you keep doing it as well, like you'll grow. So like you said, that when you were posting videos, your subscribers went up, and now that you've sort of stopped posting, it's kind of gone flat. But you found another way of doing it as well, which I think is really good.
I mean, I will go back to YouTube, and it's going to be on the back burner for a while, just while I build up everything else. And there was a certain element of YouTube comments kicking off. Wow, they are brutal.
All right, yeah, I've never got that on YouTube, because I've never done that successful on YouTube. I post a lot of my stuff on LinkedIn, because I think that's where my audience is. But yeah, tell me about like YouTube comments, because I'm guessing because of what you do as well with crypto, it's quite a divisive subject, and yeah, it's very much like on topic for a lot of people as well. So what kind of things have you heard and how do you deal with it?
So probably my memory sticks to a particular token where I did an analysis of a token called Celsius, where I advised selling at $3 based on technical analysis. The price continued up to $5, $6, and the amount of mockery and sarcastic comments on YouTube was off the charts. Consequently, the token is now below $1. So long term, I was actually accurate, but yes, they are. The YouTube audience generally are very quick to judge, and you have to have, I found, quite a thick skin to just deal with some of the comments, and it does affect your resolve to put new videos out there. You kind of have to just go, well, you're only as good as your last video, and then you just wipe the slate clean and start all over again. So it's quite an iterative process. The best comments I've ever had are just generally recommendations for new videos, just kind of saying you're spot on, I support this, and here's some more evidence, this kind of another. So there's a collaborative feel to it. But I would say that 60 to 70% of the time, people are either trying to disagree with you or take you down, basically,
That's
through
that
comments.
high percentage. That's mental, isn't it?
In crypto, yeah, that's what it is. Because everyone has their own little niche and their own little projects. Or they're not into crypto at all and they just are trying to naysay. Yeah, there's some real attack mentality in crypto for some reason. Everyone's got their own clan. And if you're not in that clan, you're an enemy of the clan.
And did you deal with those comments? Like, did you deal with them all right? Like, you weren't mentally affected by them at all, I hope.
Yes and no. I obviously, being a psychotherapist, I have a thick skin. It did kind of affect my motivation levels because when a video is not doing well and all you're getting is negative comments, it's a little bit. Ugh. But it's a numbers game. The more videos you put out, the more likely you are to have a viral one go. When it goes viral, the comments are coming in so thick and fast, you don't really do anything. Replying to the naysayers is actually a really interesting exercise because they run out of steam very quickly, especially if you kill them with kindness. If you start retorting on their level, that's not a good thing and that will just escalate. But if you're, start with, thank you for your comments, and then just say something very PR centric, the type of stuff that you see on Twitter with bots, when bots target brands, and then say, hope this helps. So if you just kill them with kindness, they don't respond. Rarely you're able to get them out of their troll mentality and find some even ground. I have done that before as well. So with naysayers, for example, crypto naysayers, I would say, well, you're worrying about inflation at the moment. Do you know why that's caused? No. That starts an entirely different conversation. It doesn't have to be a crypto that you can find some even ground on, and then that's helpful.
That's really good. Yeah, like I find it, like I see it with like if like I'm just thinking like a famous footballer posts something and then someone's horrible and then the footballer's really nice. They're just really pleased that the footballer has responded to them. So like, oh my god, this person's responded, because all they really want is a bit of attention. It's odd. Yeah, so I think that's a really good way of dealing with it. Gladly, it's something I've not had to deal with because I just post where people I know will like my stuff. Maybe I'm a bit scared. Yeah, but that's cool. And is there anything else that I haven't mentioned that you wanted to mention on the show?
Just to, if you are interested about crypto, just go to my blog, clearlycrypto.co.uk, and have a read. Because there's a lot of knee-jerk response to crypto, and what that blog is trying to do is get people to just meta-think about crypto and go, oh, maybe there is something to this. You don't necessarily have to agree with everything I say, but what I'm trying to do is provoke thought, and that's what I'm trying to do with my YouTube channel. You can disagree with me. Perfect. I love disagreements. but don't be hostile about it and don't be closed-minded to it. You can be skeptical, but not closed-minded, if that makes sense. If you're cynical towards it, then that's closed-minded. If you're skeptical, you go, I don't believe this because of X. And if X changes, you can change your belief.
Cool. I think that's a good way of dealing. Yeah, good way of saying about it. Because look, I don't know enough about it, but I don't think I'm really like a naysayer or anything like that. It's just something like, oh, I'd like to know more about that. So I think that's probably the way of dealing with it, rather than just saying no, it's a scam or whatever like that. I just think it's probably worth finding out more about and then making a decision.
Exactly.
Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. And you've said the way that people can get in touch with you. Is there anything else, any other ways that people can get in touch?
They just buy my book on Amazon, Crypto Profits, or email extras@thecryptoprof.com, and I'll be happy to take any questions.
I'll put the links in the show notes here as well, so people can see.
Thank you.
Cool. Thank you very much. And I'll speak to you soon. That's it for episode 359 of the video show. Thank you so much for watching this far. If you've got any questions or anything that you've got problems with in terms of video, put them in the comments below, or email me, office@redbookproductions.co.uk. Really looking forward to answering your questions in future episodes and keeping this going. We've got some really good episodes coming up, so keep an eye out for those. And I will see you next time in episode 360.